Greetings. This is the 2025 Hyundai Kona EV. It's the limited, top of the line. And in many ways, this kind of represents a milestone for the company here in the United States because, well, they've been here for nearly half a century. Bear with me. Hyundai got started in the late 60s and they were building very inexpensive vehicles. One was called the Pony, and that one, well, never made it here to the United States, but it was very inexpensive, actually had decent quality for what it was at the time. And Hyundai made a foothold into the United States in the 80s with the Hyundai Excel. It was an inexpensive front-wheel drive hatchback. Most of them were white. I mean, honestly, I think I saw one red one. But it was a good foothold into the United States because it proved that they could actually build and sustain bringing vehicles to the United States that were inexpensive, easy to acquire, and they had Mitsubishi powertrains, so they were relatively reliable. I mean, they weren't exactly what I would call high quality, but here was the thing. From that period forward, actually going all the way back to the early 70s forward, Hyundai has been building better and better vehicles every year. And it all kind of comes out right here because this is inexpensive. This is really high quality, and this gives you so much of a bang for that dollar. You wouldn't believe it. And so in this video, I'm going to tell you all about the vehicle. I'm going to show you some of its features. We're going to take it for a short drive. But most importantly, I want to show you how much value you get for the dollar. Because I got to say that for an electric vehicle, this thing's a bargain. I'm doing that by holding this, and now I'm going to do this, and hopefully going to bring it back. Yep. Right about there. A remote control car, full size. So here we go. Key fob. Unlock it. There it goes. I'm glad it does that. So, a couple things you might be wondering. One is, can it fast charge? The answer is yes. It does have the ability to work with fast charging. Now, right now it's a CCS, and they haven't mentioned whether or not they're going to move this to NACS anytime soon. However, you can get an adapter. That's important. Also, other Hyundai products like the Ioniq 5 and 6, they are going to eventually adopt an ACS if they haven't already, and then give you an adapter for CCS. For those of you who don't know, NACS is essentially what Tesla's using and what they've developed, meaning they give you a lot more in terms of places to go to charge this. Okay, now what about charging speed? Well, it's not fast. 100 kilowatts max. Now, compared to what you could have, that's not too terribly bad. But remember, this is really a commuter. It's more for getting out of your driveway, getting to work, and then getting home. And because of that, I'm going to close that now. You have a range, because there's two different batteries, and we'll talk about that in just a sec, of either 200 miles or around 260 miles. When I charged this vehicle, it was telling me I had 285 miles. It depends on the temperature, your driving style, a variety of different things, but I've heard that some people can get up to 300 miles out of these with the larger battery. If you get the entry-level version of the Hyundai Kona EV, you get a 48.6 kilowatt-hour battery, which is good for, as I said, up to 200 miles. Not quite as powerful, not quite as far, but actually, if you think about it, it's not too bad. Then you can step up to the 64.8 kilowatt hour battery, which gives you a total of 261 miles. Your mileage will probably vary, but that also comes with the more powerful motor, which is 201 horsepower and up to 188 pound-feet of torque. That's what this vehicle has that I'm testing right now, and it is plenty quick. It's not crazy fast like other electric vehicles, but it is, how do I put it? It won't embarrass itself merging. Getting on the freeway, it works fine. Getting past traffic, I just embarrassed a brand new Subaru WRX off the light because for the first 100 feet, this thing was faster. And I wasn't trying to race him. I was just trying to get from point A to point B very quickly. But there is a detriment. If you look over here, and I'm going to point it out, see these wheels and tires? These are actually pretty good looking, right? These Kumo tires wrapped on this 17-inch wheel. It's made out of a compound that is less rolling resistance. That's the way I'll put it. So because of that, it's harder. It's a harder compound. That means that in order to reduce that rolling resistance, that harder compound, they're kind of like hockey pucks. And they're not exactly spongy. So when you're going around corners, the car can handle it just fine. Tires, not so much. Their whole purpose in life, economy. All right, shall we start it up? Start button. Not all electric vehicles have that. All right. Two 12.3-inch screens. And that's the windshield wiper control. There we go. Right there. And right here, infotainment system. These are connected with this little border right here. And as you can see over here, you do have some switches. So traction control off. Down there is your trunk release and parking button. You really don't need that, to be honest with you. It does it automatically when you put it into park. Standard controls. See these? This is just for regenerative braking, so you can put it on different levels. Right now it's on level 1. Let's see if we can get that a little bit closer here. Here we go. Level 1. I have 64% of my battery left, and I've done, probably about 150 miles. It says I have 175 left. So that's well over what it initially said when I got it, which was like around 280 miles, even though it's supposed to be 260 miles. Impressive. Glove box here, pretty simple. This is cool. So this is a storage area. I kind of wish it was soft rubber to prevent things from sliding. It's actually very slippy, but this material, which is also on the doors, look at that. I really think that's a sweet touch. And you know what else is great? Hard buttons and knobs. In fact, they have a nice rubber coating on them too. They don't feel cheap. This is not normal. A lot of automakers have shied away from hard buttons. And that's for the heating, air conditioning, infotainment, everything. All hard buttons. And then you have a lot of this here. Your steering wheel can control a lot of that as well. Down here, you have USB-C ports, and then, there we go. So that's for your 12 volt, close that. This is your wireless charging area. Now here's something cool. Hyundai has actually made this somewhat cooled so it doesn't overheat your phone. A lot of these wireless charging units can overheat your phone. They can get super hot because they're transferring power into your phone, you see. This one supposedly doesn't do that. And I've been using it every single day, and my phone hasn't had any problems. Neat little rubber thing here, so that way it doesn't really move. This is all a very spongy type of rubber, so it keeps the phone stable as you're driving. Once again, hard controls. I love it. Oh, by the way, yes, in the higher level, limited trim, heated and cooled ventilated seats with heated steering. Drive modes. Here, I'm going to turn this. Let's see if I can, there we go. Let me get that a little bit better. Sorry, the sun is right in our eyes. Here we go. So there's snow. And I'm in Southern California, no big deal. Sport, yes, leave it on there all the time. Means the steering gets a little bit more firm and the accelerator is a little bit more sensitive. Normal, yeah, I think you figured that out. In Eco, now really, the only thing I've noticed that's a big difference between normal and Eco is the power of the vehicle seems to be a little bit more present with the normal, as opposed to the other version with the Eco. You put your foot into it, it takes a little time to get this thing up and going. I haven't noticed any major differences with the heating and air controls. Funny thing, when you're driving, the air conditioning system here, and this is how you make the fan go up and down, the fan is louder than the car because it's electric, right? Okay, so regular glove box. This is a fake leather and it feels really good. I don't know how it transmits heat. It hasn't been that hot recently, but so far comfortable. But speaking of butts, this is the area where you put your bottom end. Not huge, and especially back here. The way the seat is designed with these fairly aggressive bolsters. By the way, that's a really cool line. Well, these bolsters on a large person, I am a big guy. I don't fit that great here, so I do feel these things kind of pushing into me. This feels small to me. It's not too bad. It's just what I've noticed. And for some people out there, that might be an issue. Yes, it does have a sunroof, by the way. That does pull back, but it's not a big one. It's not a panoramic sunroof. Here's the controls for that. There we go. And up and away with the scenic palm tree behind. Very simple setup. You're going to love this. First of all, let's put us in a drive. That's how you do drive. That's how you do reverse. And that is how you do park on this stock. I'm not a big fan of these, but I've gotten used to it. And once you get used to it, it's not too bad. Okay, so there we are. We're driving. I'm going to move this thing over a little bit. There we go. Okay, check this out. That's not what I meant to do. All right, check this out. Ready? I love that. Look at the quality of that. There's a camera mounted right underneath the side view mirror, and that's the image you're seeing, and it's great for blind spots. It more than makes up for the blind spot in the car. Let's do this side. There you go. Just excellent. As far as I'm concerned, that is just, it's the bee's knees, right? I hate using that term, but it really does work this time. Okay, this is your parking assist, bird's eye view, and yes, that tells you the trajectory of your tires. By the way, you might be wondering, does this thing have a tight turning radius? It's not bad. It's better, I think, than almost every vehicle that I've driven in this class, and that does include some of the smaller EVs that are out there. So here's a full circle right there, my friends. And yeah, it works quite well. Highway ride is really good. I would say the only issue is that occasionally you do hear a little bit of that rubber hitting the road, just a little tiny bit. I'm on gravel right now and you can hear it a little bit. That's probably due to those low rolling resistance tires. They're not bad, don't get me wrong, but I suppose if you wanted even a smoother ride, you can get aftermarket tires that are a little bit more gummy, but they also may not provide the same type of performance in terms of range. Remember that. You put on stickier tires, yes, you'll probably get better performance, but you'll probably lose some of your range. That's something to keep in mind. Let me show you how to open the trunk. Now, of course, you can use your key fob, but it's right about here, just under the end. That's where the little pad is. Nice little feature to have it opening. You might notice that's actually pretty large in there. How large? Well, I left my backpack back here so you can see There we go. That it's a decent amount of space, but numbers are sort of surprising. 25.5 cubic feet of cargo space in the back. Now bear in mind that over there, and here, let me show you. Over here, see how it carves inward? It's scalloped, gives you extra space. The seats fold flat, and you get a grand total of 63.7 cubic feet of cargo space. That's not bad in this small subcompact class. And let me show you one more thing. There's extra cargo space down here. Also, you do have, of course, your level 1 charger, and there's a lot of extra space for if you really wanted to put a donut back here, a small spare tire, you could do that. And I believe some dealerships will actually let you do that from the dealership. Bear in mind, when you start adding weight to this car, that's when the mileage starts to drop, and spare tires are heavy, so that's why it has a repair kit. Let's see if I can get her to come back now. So, it's affordable. They start at about $34,000 for the regular model with the regular battery. And then, I'm gonna see if I can get this to go back a little bit further. What do you think, Guy? Maybe? Oh, come on, you could do it. And then this one is about $44,000 or $45,000. And this one has the big battery. This is fully loaded, so it's a limited. Thing is, there are a variety of different competitors that are out there. That includes, well, the Nissan Leaf, which it's really old tech, and I don't think it really truly can compare with this. But there's also the Chevrolet Equinox EV, and that is a really good vehicle with a great range. It actually beats this, but you get more features than this that are usable, and I think that this is in many ways a better vehicle, just being honest. In fact, I think this is one of the best vehicles in class. And if you're somebody who's looking for something that can get you around from point A to point B with utility, fun, really good economy, I mean, this thing, frankly, yeah, this is the vehicle for you. It's that good. I'm that impressed with it. Thanks for joining me. What a cute car. I'll see you next time.